Hello, TOEFL students. Today, we're going to learn about skills 6 and 7. Skill 6 is implied detail questions. Here are some examples of the questions for skill 6 that you will see on the TOEFL test. You'll see words like implied, inferred, most likely, or probably. When you see these questions, you will know to use these strategies for skill 6. First, identify the key words in the questions. Key words are those most important words. Then, skim the passage quickly for those key words or for synonyms to those key words. When you have identified the correct part of the passage, read carefully. Remember to read complete sentences. Check each answer to see if it's a valid conclusion based on the information given. So this is going to be another longer skill because you have to check each answer. Let's look at some examples of skill 6 questions. Number 1. It is implied in the passage that if a kayak has 2 holes, then... Okay, so first we should find the key words. The key words in this question are kayak and 2 holes. So let's look in the passage for these words. Here we can see kayak, 1 opening. An opening is going to be a synonym for holes. And we can see hole or holes. So let's read this part of the passage. A kayak is generally constructed with 1 opening in the deck for 1 rider. However, some kayaks are made for 2 because the deck of a kayak is covered over except for the hole or holes for its rider or riders. A kayak can tip over in the water and roll back up without filling with water and sinking. Now let's look at the answers and start at the bottom. D. It cannot be used on the ocean. This part that we read does not talk about the ocean. So this is not our answer. C. It is as large as a umiak. Nope, it did not compare the size to anything else. So this is not our answer. B. It is less stable than a kayak with 1 hole. We do read about the kayak tipping over, but it does not say that it is less stable because of the 2 holes. A. It accommodates 2 riders. It says that a hole in the deck is for 1 rider, or some kayaks are made for 2. Then later it says hole or holes for its rider or riders. So we can assume that 2 holes allows 2 riders. So A is our answer. Number 2. It can be inferred from the passage that an example of the animals mentioned might be Okay, so first, let's look for the key words. Here, our key word is animal. So look in the passage for the word animals. Here, at the end, we see the words animals. So we need to read this part of the passage. Eskimos have numerous uses for the umayak, which reflect the size of the boat. The umayak is used to haul belongings from campsite to campsite, and it is used for hunting larger animals that are too big to be hunted in a kayak. Now let's look at the answer choices. A and B are both animals that are found on land, not on water. And this whole passage is about water and boats. So we know that A and B are not our answer. Then we see C and D, a whale or a salmon. A salmon is a type of fish. Right here in the passage, it says used for hunting larger animals. So we need an answer that is a large animal who lives in the water. So our answer is C, a whale. Skill 7 is about transition questions. There are two types of questions for Skill 7. The paragraph preceding the passage or the paragraph following the passage. For the preceding passage, you're talking about the paragraph before. And for the paragraph following question, it's asking about the paragraph after. Let's look at the strategies for Skill 7. Read the first sentence of the passage for a preceding question and the last sentence for a following question. Okay? So when you see the preceding question, you're going to read the first sentence of the passage. When you see this question about the following passage, you're going to read the last sentence. Then look for an answer that is mentioned in the sentence but not discussed in the passage. So this skill is going to be a very quick skill or a quick question to answer, because you're only reading one sentence, either the first sentence or the last sentence. Number 1, the paragraph preceding this passage most probably discusses. Okay, remember, for questions asking about the preceding passage, you should read the first sentence in the passage, and that is where you will find the answer. So let's read the first sentence. Another program instrumental in the popularization of science was Cosmos. Okay, now let's look at the answers. B, C, and D are not mentioned at all in the first sentence, so they cannot be our answer. A different scientific television series. We see program. Program is a synonym for series. And we see scientific, and over here we have the words science. So A is our answer. Number 2. The paragraph following this passage most likely contains information on what? Okay, this is a following question, so that means we need to read the last sentence in the passage. Right here, the principal writer and narrator of the program was Carl Sagan, a noted astronomer and Pulitzer Prize-winning author. Okay, so we want an answer that is mentioned in this last sentence, and that is not the whole point of the passage. So let's see. A, the popularity of science. That is not mentioned in the last sentence. That is not the answer. B, the program Cosmos. That is not mentioned in the last sentence, and that is the topic for this whole paragraph. So that is not the answer. C, the astronomer Carl Sagan. Yes, that is mentioned in this last sentence. And D, topics and issues from various fields of science. That is not mentioned. So our answer is definitely C. Your assignment for today is to read the passages and answer the questions for TOEFL exercise skills 6 and 7 on Google Classroom. As always, if you have any questions or if you need some help, send me a message and I will help you. Good luck!